and share the screen. And what I wanted to go over today is to make sure that you all realize what resource is available on the client drive. So hopefully, if everything went according to plan, when you got your first couple of emails, there should have been a Google Drive link that would take you to client education. Sorry. Right here. So this is what your client education will have: all the marketing materials, getting started, total gut restoration, BioMFX stool test. Does all of this look familiar? Did anyone not get a link to the client education or have time to look at it? So what I wanted to go through today
I don't know if I got it. I'll have to check.
Okay, but I can easily send you another link. So if you don't have it, I might just
That'd be great.
I'll send the link out when I send the recording. And what I wanted to go over today was this tab here, Research and Learning, and the Microbiome Lab Published Studies. And then you see here we should have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There they are. Okay, so we were founded in 2013. So I guess we are 7 years old. And to have basically a publication for every year that we've been around is pretty amazing for a small company. But that has been the priority, is to focus on research and to be research driven. And a lot of companies say that they are. And I can tell you, I have worked with another company, and there's a difference between associated publications and actual publications on the product that you're researching. If we go back one tab, there's another tab here says research. Okay, so there's tons and tons of publications in here that have to do specifically with ingredients of each of these products, but they're not publications that we paid for and funded. They're literature out there that you could go to PubMed. For instance, let's look at MegaGuard, because the ingredients on MegaGuard, of course, the artichoke. So the globe artichoke is a very specific ingredient. It is an ingredient in Europe that they've got an actual pharmaceutical drug for, and they have done all the research on that product. Same with GutGuard. The licorice that's in MegaGuard has a very specific, polyphenol combination, and that is a pharmaceutical drug in Europe. So they have done the research here. We put the ingredients together, matched these specific, so we have the same ingredients as those, so we can use their research and put them together as a product, and voila, we've got a bunch of research on that product. But it's not MegaGuard that's been put into the study and studied as a whole. And that's the difference. And this is how other nutraceutical companies put together their research. Yes, they do have research on their products, the ingredients of their products, not their products. So I'm trying to draw that fine line between funded research from the company on the actual product and product ingredient research. Okay, so if we go back, client education here, I'm going to go through the actual microbiome labs research and what does it mean. Because this, again, is when you look at a study, usually studies take 2 to 3 years They have multiple layers of review, and they're extremely expensive. You're looking at, you know, a couple $1 million per study. Because when you do a SHIME study, each time you run a SHIME is about $20,000, and for a particular something you're trying to show, you're going to do it 10 times. So now you got, you know, $200,000, and then you have to repeat that for, you know, multiple times. So that's how it adds up. Now we look at the first study here, the symbiotic concept containing spore-forming bacillus strains and a prebiotic. So I'm going to give you the little synopsis of what each of these are about, and then we can go through them. So this is the study showing that megaspore jumpstarts the production of short-chain fatty acids, which helps with the diversification of the keystone strains. And when you measure that, in the first 30 days, it's going to be about 20% increase. But when you add the prebiotic, because it has these specific oligosaccharides that those keystone strains love to eat, so then they will thrive, it will increase by 80%. So this is, and that's kind of the abstract of the paper. And this is really important to show that if you're promoting a total gut restoration program and you say, you know, you need to use this prebiotic, it's really important, it helps the keystone strains, what evidence do we have that that's true? Well, here it is. This is the evidence that that is true. The next study here, megaspore triglyceride study. You know, when we did the study at North Texas in 2017, it was primarily geared at looking at how much do the spore probiotics reduce the lipopolysaccharide, the endotoxin, and that was extremely significant. So that's what put us on the map. But there were many other analytes, many other indicators that were reduced. And one of those, because it was very significant, was triglycerides. So we elected to do a specific study on triglycerides. And this is the study here. And amazingly, it was repeated, which is, you know, anticipated. The reduction was significant, so much so it can be compared to some, you know, drugs that reduce triglycerides. So that's important to say that, you know, we're confirming the results of previous studies, and we're comparing it to what's already on the market, and it confirmed it's very significant. And this is what we should expect. We're saying, how powerful are these spores? And if they are truly helping with the reduction of inflammation, the reduction of leaky gut, the reduction of toxins, ammonia, and we know that ammonia hurts the liver, causes liver failure, that we should be able to see major disease indicators reduced, and therefore the following conditions improved. So that's the track that we're on, that's what we're seeing, and that's what it is saying is happening. B subtilis, HU58 on immune function. All right, so we know HU58 is, HU stands for Holloman University. This is the specific strain of Bacillus subtilis that we use in all of our probiotics, the 3 of our probiotics that we have. And the study was to show, what does this one spore by itself do? And the study showed that it reduced interleukin 6 by 45% and TNF-alpha by 50%, majorly significant, right? So that is important to put on the books to show this is our evidence. Everything's going in the right direction. All right. Oral spore-based probiotic reduces LPS. This was our very first study. This is the one that was published at University of Texas in Denton by Dr. Brian McFarland in August of 2017. And based on this study, all of these others really kind of sprouted. This one shows a 60% reduction in lipopolysaccharide, which is mind-blowing, but it had other very significant reductions of triglycerides, leptin, different inflammatory markers, insulin, you know, so that's why we're doing all these individual studies on diabetes, weight loss, liver, hepatic encephalopathy. And by the way, that hepatic encephalopathy study is still ongoing, but that's a very significant study in that liver failure tends to cause the brain to swell. And it's a really traumatic condition. There are wards that are designated for that condition. The study's being done at Mercy Hospital in Ohio. So, you know, again, that will be a very significant one because all indications show that Bacillus subtilis is very effective at reducing ammonia. Okay. Megaspore for hepatic protection. And this is huge. We in the natural world, we're always talking about liver is so important. It's 400 different processes in the body. The primary detoxification organ really needs to be protected. I think those individuals who are in Chinese medicine know, how important the liver is and its detoxification, circadian rhythm, and how it affects the body. People that into emotional aspects know how important the liver is to affecting, those who are melancholy or angry or sad. So there's a lot of our practitioners that focus on the liver. So when we have a study now that shows Megaspore is more effective than milk thistle. Milk thistle is the primary liver protectant ingredient used in supplements across the field. So this is really important. So the study shows that it will protect against acetaminophen. Okay, the statistics show that more liver failure is caused from acetaminophen than anything else. And that's, astounding, because if you realize, how many of your patients, clients, guests use acetaminophen, when they have a headache, when they sprain their ankle, when they ran a marathon, when they, whatever, it's so common that people are using this and mixing it with alcohol or mixing it with other things that they shouldn't be doing. Now we've got, a really safe product, Megaspore, that is going to help with that. Okay, the next study, MyoMax. MyoMax is one of 2 of our vitamin K products. And really, we haven't talked enough about vitamin K. When Microbiome Labs started in 2013, vitamin K was, we only had 2 products, vitamin K and Megaspore. And, vitamin K is fermented, is produced in the gut. And when you're deficient in vitamin K, as in your gut's not working properly, you're not absorbing vitamin K from other sources, a vitamin K deficiency manifests in multiple ways. And I think we're seeing all of these deficiencies, but not connecting the dots. When you've got calcium deposition in soft tissue, that is a vitamin K deficiency. And you see it in atherosclerosis, kidney stones, high blood pressure, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, neurological seizures. The list goes on and on. It affects diabetes and cancer. So there's an element to all of those chronic diseases with menaquinone. Menaquinone, and that in the very name should raise some red flags. It's a quinone. Quinones are used in the electron transport chain of mitochondria. Not just mitochondria that we need for our energy, but the mitochondria of bacteria. So, you know, that's why if you're not taking enough or you're not taking a stable vitamin K2, it's not doing anything. You know, if you're not taking enough, the bacteria in your gut are going to utilize it up. And you're not going to have enough for the person. If it's not stable, not the bacteria or the person aren't going to benefit from it. So the studies out there are numerous on vitamin K2. So we looked for an aspect that really hadn't been covered as well. So our MyoMax study was focused on cardiac output and blood volume. And so this study showed, again, amazing results that you can increase cardiac output by 13% and blood volume by 30%. And in the world of athletics and exercise and aerobics, that's huge. So, you know, any edge you can have in that aspect, 13% is amazing. And anything you can do to increase blood volume, where you're circulating the nutrients of your body better, that's amazing. So again, good studies just showing what we're saying is true. And then the last study here is Megaspore in IBS. And this particular type of IBS is the diarrhea type. And this study shows that Megaspore is as effective as the antibiotic rifaximin that is used to treat the primary protocol, conventional protocol out there treating these individuals. And if you can use a probiotic that is not only going to help them with their IBS, but it's going to help them heal their gut, you know, help them with their symptoms, help them with their immune system, help them with their absorption. Why would you use an antibiotic that is going to, you know, cause the havoc that it does in the gut and, you know, open them up to yeast infections and pathogenic invasion and imbalances in their microbiome? So, you know, this is all really good news. So is there any particular one of these studies that you would like to know more about, have more details on? I can go into each one.
I was thinking that we would see the studies when we clicked on them.
Yes, you should. When you click on it, the studies will come up.
Well, I find what you're saying. Yeah, these are fascinating. These are great.
Yes, and these are available to you. I think, you know, a lot of your clients are, you know, searching Google. They're understanding that studies are important, and I think that it's important for them to, you know, if they raise the question, and how do you, you know, they're asking you, well, how do you know these work? How do you know? Well, this is how we know. You know, and 12-week randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled. You know, that's the terminology that if you are working with a medical doctor, you know, if you have a conversation with a cardiologist, you know, who is working with a patient in common, and the first thing they're going to say, well, what proof do you have? What studies do you have? What randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial do you have? Well, you can just say, what's your email? I'll send it to you. It's here, you know. And so for such a long time in the functional medicine world, you know, it's been handicapping us not to have these studies because, nutraceutical companies can't compete with the pharmaceutical giants that are out there with all the money in the world, to spend on studies and lobbyists and, all the things that they do. So this is really special that we have this backup. And there are more coming. There are currently 14 studies in process. And let's see if I'm awake enough to find. They hate it when we share stuff that's not already published or already launched. But I took a picture of a slide yesterday. And I'm just going to read through some of the titles. Okay, 90-day metabolic endotoxemia, a weight loss study, a periodontal disease study, a vaginal microbiome comparing medical grade lube with vitamin lube, hepatic, that's end of that one. And then the other one, hepatic encephalopathy that we discussed earlier. Part 2 is post-hospitalization, a C. diff study, a rheumatoid arthritis study, and a cancer immunotherapy study, an immune modulation study, a secretory IgA study, chronic inflammation study, leaky gut in dog study, post-surgical ICU patient recovery. It's an antibiotic-associated diarrhea in kids study, 30-day metabolic endotoxemia. Okay, that's all I was able to take a picture of, but there's several others in the works. As they keep pumping those out, we keep adding them to this folder, and that's, just the strength of what, you're able to present in confidence to your patients. We're able to present in confidence to the scientific world, to the competition, and it just sets us up into a much more stable position. And that's all good. We're in the world of, how good is your science? And Microbiome Labs has upset the industry. We're doing these SHIME studies that show how things are working in the gastrointestinal tract. And other companies are doing Petri dish studies or cell line studies, and it's just reproduced in the laboratory, and it doesn't work in your gut. So, we have them scrambling, and this is, that's the way progress is made. But pioneers get shot at. That's just the way it goes. And we've done the same thing in the stool test as well. It's a paradigm shift of what they've seen in the past because it is based on science, and they can't argue with it, and they're scrambling. Okay, so I will send you the links to those, and hopefully you can get a chance to look them over. If you have any questions over them, let me know. And I hope that was helpful, kind of going over what you have available to you in this client education. The marketing materials, if you've got social media and you want to, talk about a certain product, they've got all of the, in each product here, they'll have pictures for you, pictures of the bottles, brochures that you can email to your patients. There's a, social media kit that helps you with all these products, little blurbs that are already written up for you. With this whole COVID thing, people have had to get savvy with online you know, with doing Zooms, seeing people, you know, electronically and meeting over the computer. And social media has also been picking up. So, you know, we have to force ourselves to get into some of these lesser known mediums of interacting with people. This is getting started with Microbiome Labs, history of Microbiome Labs. Oh, so that's a little video, I believe. Yeah. Tom and Karan, who are our founders. And, you know, they're just sitting there saying, yeah, well, we had this idea, you know. So, you know, it's kind of fun to watch that. You've got other videos here, origins of spores, the products. Yeah, and so you've got some presentations here of the products. I wonder which ones they cover. I haven't looked in this a while, and we've been adding new products. So there's, but we have 12 products now. So we started with 2, now we have 12. There were 3 reps. I was one of the 3, now there's 30. Okay, so this is brochure with the omega on there. I don't see, yeah, and phytospores on there. Okay, so everybody's there. So that's nice. Because some people print out these, laminate them, you know, especially the nice one to laminate is the one on the gut. The one I like is, you know, what a healthy gut versus a leaky gut. And if you don't have that slide, it should be in here, but I will get that to you. That would be the one I would laminate, because when you're educating people, it's nice to have visuals and to point to it. Your total gut restoration, let's see, graphics. Yeah, too bad we have to wait for this slow internet. Oh, so that's the graphics on. Okay, here's the one right here. That's it. That's the baby. Man, I would laminate that, email it out, just because that really shows what's going on in the gut. It helps your patient understand, you know, what damage is taking place, you know, how this mucin layer really needs, you know, to be repaired and put back in place. So when you're saying you take your megaspore for this, you take your prebiotic for, you know, the keystone strains, you know, to keep the pathogens down, and you take that mega mucosa to seal the gut. And then you show them this and they get it, you know. So I think this is helpful. And of course now.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Tracy?
Yes.
I just want to say, you know, with COVID, how anxiety and depression have gone way up in people.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have anything that addresses like a study or anything with low serotonin, stress effects on the gut, and what we've shown with our product?
There isn't a published study. There is, you know, back in that other research folder, there's a study on the on depression, and it shows the link. It's the, you know, gut-brain link. And if I can't pull it out quickly on this presentation, I will get that to you. I imagine it's in the Megaspore. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to look a little deeper to find that. It's in my Total Gut Restoration presentation. And this month is Mental Health Month. And if I can, there was an email that was sent out to everyone. Oh, wait. That is inviting people to summits and doing different things for this month. So they are focusing on that. And Karen's going to be talking about that specifically. And comes up under mental health. Because you're right. It's been very obvious that people sheltering at home, some of them have a difficult time being with themselves. So, or other issues just exacerbated. Depression study. Well, maybe this is, okay, well, I'm not having success finding anything. So I think I found the depression study maybe in depression. Okay, so here's the study. Gut-brain barrier in major depression, intestinal mucosa dysfunction with an increased translocation of lipopolysaccharide. So this brings it back when you're talking about, you're showing them the healthy gut and the dysbiotic gut or the leaky gut and what the LPS is doing. This study is showing that LPS also translocates, travels up the vagus nerves, affects the central nervous system, blocks neurotransmitters, and people feel depressed. So, and here's the study that shows that. So that, I believe this study will be mentioned in the summits that are taking place. So let me know if you didn't receive that email from the company on the different resources available to you for this month that help with mental health, and let me know, because I'll find it. Did that answer your question, Deb?
Yes, that's great. Thank you. I'm having it cut in and out, so I'm missing some of what you say, but I get the in general, and that looks like a great study. So thanks.
Super. Yes, I plan to do the meeting next month. I'll go into town and do that meeting because I don't want there to be any audio issues for it. Okay. Any other questions? That was a good one.
Doing good here.
Okay, super. Okay, well, we might wrap up early and just wish you all a great rest of your week. Hopefully, as things, our new normal starts to be realized, just reach out if there's anything I can do to help you with, and stay safe out there. So long.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tracy. Y'all have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.